So it's 12 o'clock already, but we can see participants are joining in. So let's wait for 5 to 10 minutes for everyone to join in, then we can start, okay? So while we are waiting, I would like to pass some instructions for the participants. Everyone, please make sure that you have joined with your name following the naming convention. It should be your actual first name followed by your last name. So please make sure that you have not joined with any gaming name or nickname or your device's name. Also, we'll be sharing a feedback form. So please make sure to fill in the feedback form to tell us how you feel about the workshop or if you want us to improve any further. Also, it will be containing your details, which we'll be using for creating your certificates. For example, your name that you provide us in that feedback form. And we'll be following the 60% of attendance time criteria for the certificates. That means that you will be eligible for certificates if you are participating in the workshop for 60% of its working time. So that's for the instructions. We still have 5 minutes. So we'll start after 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so looks like everyone's ready. Let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of KSV and LDRP Institute, I warmly welcome everyone who has joined us in the workshop this afternoon. Before going forward, let's have a quick intro about KSV and LDRP. So, KSV, Karisarva Vishwavidyalaya, is a university established with the Gujarat Act 21 of 2007 and was approved by UGC. The university has been set up by the Sarva Vidyalaya Keravani Mandal, which is a trust with more than 100 years of philanthropic existence to provide need-based education and develop courses of contemporary relevance to be the University of Excellence by providing the research and skill-based activities and trainings which would foster higher economic growth and to provide education to all respective of caste, creed, religion, etc. Talking about LDRP Institute of Technology and Research, then it was set up during 2005 and 2006. The college has made a steady progress from the past 16 years of its existence. And as a prestigious state institute, LDRP has long recognized its role in engineering education, generation, and dissemination of useful and relevant technological, industrial, and economic development of the country. And now, KSV and LDRP has brought to you this Break the Barrier event, which is a compilation of various interactive workshops from industry experts, working professionals, experienced developers, CEOs, and more, where you can present your revolutionary ideas and skill ups to the competitive environment presented by the hackathon and grab the opportunity to win excited prizes. So, among these 14 plus featured workshops, today we'll be conducting our MongoDB workshop. And on that note, I would like to introduce our presenters for the workshop, Mr. Kushagra Kesav and Ms. Asari Sasrabutte, who are the software engineers at MongoDB. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over to our presenters. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Grateful to have you on board.
Very good afternoon to you, and very good afternoon to everyone. Yeah. Are we waiting for some more folks to join in, or should we start?
We can wait for a few minutes if someone is joining.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi, folks. So the people who have joined on the Zoom chat, can we see some hi in the comment section? And how are you excited for this particular workshop? I need engagement and I need to have a two-way communication with you guys. Okay, hi. Hi, Jishan. Hi, Ketan. Hi, Satyam. Hi, Dhruv. Hi, Tarun. Hi, Abhishek. Hi, Himansu. Hi, Vihal. Hi, Saurabh. Yeah. Hi, Nikhil. Hi, Purti. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Bhakti. Hi, Nikhil. Hi, Vishal. Yeah, we are too excited, like you. Likewise. Hello, Kus. Yeah, good afternoon. Also, like it will be great if you can, if you are participating in a hackathon, and have you thought what exactly you are building in the hackathon, and can you share the name of the app or the whatever you are building? It will be great to have some overview what exactly you are building. All the participants can share the name in the Zoom chat. I think we can get started. It's already 10 minutes, 12:10. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kushagra. And hello, everyone. I'll start presenting. Hi, Hello everyone. I am Asagri, an alumni of NIT Silchar. I have been a part of MongoDB for 6 months now, and I am here with Kushagra to basically introduce you to MongoDB, or if you are already familiar with MongoDB, to help you build an application or build projects in as a part of this hackathon. And also we'll give you some future references on how can you learn MongoDB. So over to you, Kushagra, to carry ahead with the presentation. I would stop sharing. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Asavari. Let's start sharing. So I think you all can see my screen.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so about myself little bit. So I am Kushagra and I'm working with MongoDB from last 1.5 years. And before that, I've been in the teaching career from last 7 years. So I'm in touch with students from very long. I've been also in past helping students to clear the IIT and NEET examination. So yeah, feel free to connect with me. I just love to talk with the students. So yeah, let's get started. So currently we are from MongoDB here and we are here to conduct a one workshop which will definitely help you to how you are going to build your application and how MongoDB will help you to innovate and build your application faster as compared to the RDBMS which you were using and also been studying in your college curriculum. So the agenda for the our workshop is today that we will discuss about what is the good schema design, what are the relationship and mapping, and how it's different from the relational database management which you were studying. And when we have to do embedding and referencing, referencing is kind of a synonym of a join in SQL. And after that, Asavari will run you through some very useful MongoDB tools, which will definitely help you to give a developer productivity in while building your application. Also, we have our MongoDB community where you can ask your queries and get a resolution from our team. And also we will introduce about our free courses in the university and also about our certification, then the following with the question and answer. So please hold up your question until the last of the slide, and then we will have a catch up there. Okay, let's get started. So exactly whenever you are building whenever you are building a web application or any kind of application, be it a blockchain or MLAI or anything else, you originally thinks that first you think about what data you are having. So you have before creating or designing a database, you have to think about your data. So that is a one very critical thinking, that what exactly you are having. When you have a thought in your mind, okay, we have for example, I'm building a social media app, so I have a data of users, I have a data of photographs, I have data of profile pictures, I have a data of I have to connect two tables in which the friends will map with other friends of like Facebook. So you have to think about what exactly data you are having. After that, you have to think about your database design approach, and it really depends that what exactly you are building. Either you are building a MLAI application, or you're building a web development application, application, or you are building some analysis application. It really depends on what exactly you're building. So here we are taking approach to make you understand that what exactly schema pattern you need to choose before building your application. So it will be faster and it will be very easier for you to query, read and write the data. Okay. So for a good schema design, we always run upon that what exactly the read and write cost is. By read and write cost, I mean whenever you query the data from your database, that is considered to be reading the data. And whenever you save your data into the database, it's considered to be writing the data. So it depends that how we can reduce the reading and writing cost. By reducing, I mean whenever you create or whenever you run a query to get a lot of data, I want everybody wants that it take very less amount of time to return the data. So that is a read and write cost. So we will see that how we can design a schema so a read and write cost get reduced. Second one is data redundancy. So we also focus on how to reduce and eliminate the data redundancy. By redundancy, I means repetition of the data, that you don't have to save the same data in different collections. Okay. Third one is data inconsistency, that we also want to prevent data inconsistency and inaccuracy. By inconsistency, I mean inaccuracy, that the data should be accurate and it should be in a very correctness, and it should be in integrity, like it should be have a consistent across all the collections inside the your database. By collection we relate to a table. So I hope you might know what exactly the MongoDB. I would love to see that how many folks of you like exactly know what exactly is MongoDB. Like I would love to know, yes, that how many of you have used MongoDB in your uh, dev application earlier, or have learned about MongoDB. I need some yes here in the Zoom chat. Okay, I'm not seeing some, but I'm really expecting that some of you folks definitely know what exactly is MongoDB. Feel free to comment. I'm just waiting to interact with everyone. It will be great when we have a two-way communication. Okay, NoSQL database, great. Thanks, Chetis. Anyone apart from Chetis, Jan? Yes, MongoDB is very famous NoSQL. Yeah, it's a very famous NoSQL database. Agree. It's a within the NoSQL, it's a document database. So yep, you're correct. Anyone more apart from these two folks? Okay, no issues. Let's move forward. So apart from that, then I will talk about the integrity of data. That you, whenever you build your database schema design, you have to also think about how you can ensure that the correctness and integrity of data remains consistent. After that, rapid retrieval. Rapid retrieval is like something you have to take a data lookup. Like whenever you are like looking up to more than two collections or more than a one collection, you have to do a rapid retrieval of the data. So you have to be sure that how you design a database so you can get the data in very less amount of time. Okay. After that, we will think about that how we can make sure that our data is secure, like keeping the sensitive and confidential data secure yet accessible to those who need it. So these are the 4 or 5 points we have to make sure to whenever we are designing our database. Okay. After that, we will, let's. So what are the rules of database design in MongoDB? There are certain rules we will discuss, and I think our team can share some of the anti-pattern database, that what are the schema patterns we have a documentation on that, what exactly the rules of the database design in the MongoDB. Okay. After that, so whenever you are designing a schema, it depends that how you store the data. Second is the query performance, that whenever you write a MongoDB query, it depends that how your query is performing. Third one is like it require a reasonable amount of hardware, like exactly how much hardware you are like whenever you are trying to save your data to a cloud cluster, it depends that are you running a 3-way replica set or whatever, or 5 cluster replica set. It will depend how many amount of hardware you are utilizing whilst designing the schema. Okay. After that, so here we are taking a use case of Book My Show to make you understand. So I think all of you are definitely be familiar with Book My Show. It's an application being used in India for booking movie tickets and comedies tickets around the country. So here we are taking an example of Book My Show. Here we will see that here are some of the tables we have used to design in the SQL database. So in RDBMS in SQL, we used to have some different tables which will store movie, which will store show, which will store booking data, users data, cinema data, and all the payments data. So it is all linked. So when you consider this particular table, you can see that movie is linked to a show, that a single movie will have a different shows at a different time zone, at a different time within a day. Every show have a booking, and every booking is done by a user. After user, there will be a payment which will be done by a user. So it's all linked, and we will understand how it is linked and how we can like convert this RDBMS table and all the joins into the MongoDB table. So you will be like understanding where to use what approach, that where we can embed the data, where we can reference the data, where we can store the data in two separate collection, where we can store all the data in a separate collection. We will see these things in upcoming slides. So yeah, so here first consider the relational database. So yeah, here I'm considering the database of the city. Here you can see the city have city ID, name, state, and zip code. So it is a RDBMS table, and I want to convert into a document form, a collection form. Okay, so in relational database, we are considered some city name, that is New Delhi, Noida, Gurugram. So in this way, you store your data in a relational database in a table format. But when you convert these data into when you take this data into a MongoDB, it get converted into particular documents. Each documents, like in this particular, if you can see, let me, yeah, wait. Yeah, I'm turning on the laser point so you can be. So this particular single is a one document in which, wait, it is a one document. This is a second document, is a third document, and the document, the collection of document will be known as like all the document is known as a collection in the MongoDB. Like a table is similar to a collection. Okay. So here we have stored New Delhi state and zip code and whatever. So these are the MongoDB databases we are storing in a document format. Later on, Asavari will tell you how you can like save these data in using the MongoDB tools, and it will be definitely useful for you guys. After that, we will understand, we are going to see what a difference between embedding and referencing. Embedding here means it's sub documentation. Like if I want to store a user ID with the booking ID, like which user have done what kind of booking for a movie show. So we don't want to put it into two separate table here. We want to, because when we put it into two separate table, we have to run a two query to get the data from two different table, and that will like increase the read and write time. So what we will do, we will embed these data into a single query. So what I will do, so it's my name Kushagra, and I have a booking of these tickets, two tickets, which I am embedding within a one particular document. So we don't have to query a two particular document. It will be just converted into single document, and this particular process is known as embedding. So here what I'm doing, let's go to previous slide once again. So here what I'm doing, I am embedding the booking data within the user data. So it will be useful whenever you query a user, you can get all the booking details of that particular user with a single query. You don't have to write multiple queries for these, or you don't have to use a lookup. Lookup will be like it's similar to join. We use a join in SQL. We use a lookup operator in MongoDB. Okay. After that, we will understand that where we can do embedding and how we can do referencing. Sometimes, like you can see, I have embedded a list of cinemas within the city, that how many cinemas are there in the city. That is known as embedding. Embedding is like this particular is a sub document within a document. So this particular process is known as embedding. And when we link like one to many, it's a one to many approach. It's known as referencing, that we have a cinema collection in cinema in one separate collection and city in one separate collection, and we are linking using the city ID. City ID is kind of a foreign key. Like in a SQL, we used to call a foreign key. So we are embedding. So these two are the embedding and referencing. But we need to understand that when we need to embed the data and when we need to reference the data, because when we have the MongoDB have some limitations also for a particular documentation, that we cannot increase that particular size limit. So we have to very careful about when we will embed and when we will reference the data. So we will see this in the later slide. So first we will see what are the pros and cons of the embedding the data. So let us consider that if you embed a data in a single particular document, you can retrieve all the data with a single query. You don't have to write multiple queries for that. This is the pros of embedding. Second one is it really avoid expense joins or lookup. Joins is similar to lookup. Join we do in a SQL, and lookup we do $lookup we do in a MongoDB. It's both are similar thing. Okay, in SQL and NoSQL have a similar like approach, but both are like have a similar operation in the background. Okay, after that, what are the third pros is like we can update all the data with a single atomic operation, that we have to just write a single MQL query and it will update all the data because it's documented within a one collection. Okay. What are the cons? The cons is that if we have a very large documentation, for example, Kushag, myself, book a lot of movie tickets, like for my whole office or something like for a whole like thousands or lakhs of people, I book a ticket for a movie ticket. So it will have a large documentation, and we will when we are like embedding a large documentation within a single document, it will increase the size of the documentation. And when the size will be increased, there will be more overhead. More overhead means whenever you will query that particular documentation, it will take time to return that query. But we can minimize that approach using a dollar project operator. So dollar project operator in MongoDB, what it does, so for example, you have a like hundreds of key value pair, but you want like only 5 key value pair out of hundreds key value pair inside the document. Let me go to back to this particular slide. For example, you have city ID, name, state, and similarly 100 of key value pair, but you only want name and state from this particular data set. So what you will do, you will use a dollar project operator, and you have to just say that name colon one is kind of similar to true, and state colon one, it will just return only name and state of the city, nothing else apart from that. So we can minimize that particular cons with using a dollar project operator. Okay. After that, it has one limitation, that the document size limit is up to 16 MB. So you cannot store more data up like apart from 16 MB. But I think 16 MB is fine because we most time store a textual data, so it's fine. Okay. So I am again checking my question Zoom chat. So is there any, and I'm not seeing any interaction. I really love to interact with you guys. Like I love chatting with students. I've been in the teaching community from last 8-9 years. So I just love to interact with you. I see some messages. I want to see some messages in the Zoom chat. How was the session? How you really like it? Are you able to understand it or not? If you have any question, please put in the Zoom chat. I will love to interact with you and resolve your question. Come on, colleges and university, you are here. I need some more party. You all 58 people are here and there's no comments. And now I will start taking out the name from each one of you, so you will start commenting. Okay, so let's go to some previous comments. I have seen the comments from Abhishek, Himansu. So hi Abhishek, are you understanding it? Like how it's finding it? You can also turn on your mic and speak. I will love to interact with you. Hi Himanshu, hi Vihar. How are you liking the session? Come on, LDRP people. I want to have more interaction. Okay, I will get back to you once again. I'm seeing no interaction, then I'm moving forward. I hope that you all are like understanding this very like amazingly. That's why you don't have any doubts. Let's move. No issues. Okay, so now I will talk about the referencing. So initially I was talking about the embedding of the data. Embedding is like you will put some data within a one collection, so you don't have to query two different tables or two different collections. That is a embedding. Now we will talk about the referencing. So what referencing is, for example, you have a lot of data, like a data which is like in a large textual data, a large JSON data. So you don't want to embed it because it have some cons. Cons are like it can increase the overhead, it can increase the size of the particular document, which is 16 MB. So what you will do, you will do a referencing of the data. Referencing by here, what I mean, for example, consider this is a particular collection. Okay, this is a particular one document of a one collection. These are the two document of a separate collection. So what I will do, so this is a movie, The Spy. It is in these two city ID. City ID is like object ID. So I'm referencing the object ID 1, 2, 3, 4, which will reference the other one, that is the Gurugram, and the second object ID is 4, 5, 6, 8, which will reference to another one, that is Noida. So these are the two different. So here what I'm doing, I'm referencing, I am putting a reference like a foreign key has an ID in my one movie document. So whenever I want to query that this movie, how many cities have this particular movie, I just need to use a lookup operator, and using a lookup operator, it will reference me to these particular city IDs where I can get the city name. Okay, so these kind of process, the referencing is very similar to join. You used to I definitely think you have definitely learned in the curriculum about joins in SQL. It's very similar to referencing in MongoDB. Okay. Okay. Moving forward. Here you can see that it's showing the arrow that when the object ID will is mapping to a city Gurugram and second one is mapping to the Noida. Okay. So now what are the pros and cons of the referencing? So when we talk about the pros is that it will have a very smaller document. So when the documents are smaller, the retrieval will be much faster. Okay, one thing. Second, it is very less likely to reach 16 MB limit because we are storing into two different collections. Third one, it's have a no duplication of data because we don't have to duplicate data. We only need to reference it using the object ID. Okay. Fourth one, the infrequent access data, not access on every query. Like whenever you want to access the data on every query, like for example, have you seen whenever you will query a data in which there are a lot of embedded document, you will get a whole JSON from that particular document. But when you are referencing and you are just querying a single collection, you will get a very less key value pair has compared to the embedding part. Let me rephrase it again. Let me go back to this slide. For example, if I want to query the movie name, I will only get these three value pair: movie name, genre, and release date. I will not get these all city state because I'm not using a lookup operator. So here what I'm trying to make you understand, that you will not get infrequent you will not get the infrequently accessed data when it is not accessed on every query. So these are the pros of the referencing. What are the cons? That whenever you have to write a two query, or you have to use a dollar lookup. So dollar lookup increase the read and write cost. By increasing, I mean that you have to read a two separate collection, you have to read a two separate table. So it will definitely increase the amount of read and write. So that is a cons of referencing. Okay. Now I am definitely sure that you people have also read about the types of relationship in the SQL. I want to see how many people have. Let me check the Zoom chat again. So basically, yeah. So basically, it depends on the particular use case. Yeah, definitely, it depends upon the particular use case, that how exactly you are building. That's why I asked that please share what you people are planning to build in the hackathon. That will give us pretty much idea to share what kind of schema design you could have, so you can build your APIs faster, you can build the data retrieval very faster in your application. So that is one thing I was asking from all of you guys. So yeah, thanks Ishan for interacting with me. I really love this approach, being one out of 59 people. I want more Ishan like people, so I want more interaction. Okay, now I'm moving towards the collection part. Let me, yeah. Here we will talk about the four types of relationship. One is one-to-one relationship. Second one is one-to-few, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Let's start with one-to-one. So here, back to that particular relationship ER diagram. So in this particular ER diagram, you see that there are booking table and a payment table. Booking table has a booking ID, and same booking ID is used as a primary key, and it is also being used as a foreign key in a payments table. Like for example, if Kushagra is making a payment or doing a booking, so every booking will have a single payment. Okay, so it will have a one-to-one relationship, that every booking, for example, booking number one have a payment, like payment used is like for example credit card, so it have a one-to-one relationship. How we are like referencing these two tables? By using a booking ID. Booking ID is a primary key. By primary key, I means booking ID will be unique for each and every particular document. And by foreign key, I means that booking ID will be used to retrieve these two data. So this is known as one-on-one relationship. So how I will see in a MongoDB from MongoDB perspective. So in a MongoDB perspective, we have a booking table. We have a booking, sorry, not a table, booking document. So in a booking document, we have a booking ID 122, which is referencing to the payments booking ID, that is 122. So this is a one-to-one relationship. So in that way, we can have a one-to-one relationship, and we can use a dollar lookup here to query both the data from two different collections. Now moving forward to one-to-few. So one-to-few here are the two tables. One is cinema, second one is city. So city will have a multiple cinema. Multiple cinema means, for example, Gurugram have a multiple cinema hall like PVR, Inox, and all those things. So a multiple cinema. So what we will do, we will try to use a one to few relationship. In one to few relationship, what we will do, we will try to get all those data. For example, I'm thinking, so this what I have created an example here. A particular person have booked all the seats, so it's a one to few. Like if a particular person have like two bookings, then we will embed these two data within one particular collection, and within one particular collection it will have a one to a few relationship. Like one particular person, that is Kushag, is having a few bookings, and we will not create two separate collection in MongoDB. We will embed this data within one, so we can query it and we can reduce the read and write cost here. Okay, this is the one thing. So here initially we used to have a two different table, but now we just using a referencing. So here what we are doing, we are preferring the embedding part, not referencing. Why not referencing? Because referencing is done when we have a two use collections, then we want to reference, because we don't want to create one large documentation. That then we only prefer referencing. But whenever we have a very small data, we try to embed within a one collection, so a single query can get all the data and we can reduce the read write cost. Okay, next, that is one to many. One to many is like, whenever I will share here that you have a two collection, that is a city and ID. So whatever I was discussing initially, that was referenced here, that a particular city have a lot of cinema ID. So what I have done, a city is a collection. Inside of one city there is a document named Gurugram in a state of Haryana, and it have all the cinema hall ID, that is 5, 6, 7, 8 and 3, 5, 4, and all these ID are referencing to different cinema hall. Like this is one cinema hall, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this cinema hall will have different source. So this is like one to many relationship. For example, a particular city will have like say 40 cinema hall. So it's a one to many relationship. It's not 2 and 3. It's like more than some like double digit or triple digit number. So it will say one to many relationship. So here city is like referencing the cinema hall, and we are getting all the cinema hall ID. Okay. After that, I'm just saying the arrow is showing exactly that how the 5, 6, 7, 8 is referencing to the other one. So here we will prefer referencing over embedding, because we have a lot of data. So we don't want to create one extra. We don't want to create one extra overhead one extra large doc, because it will increase the read and write cost. Okay, I see one message. So can you tell me how we can make our future in MongoDB? Can you tell me how we can? I'm not understanding the question here. Make our future in MongoDB. Documentation is available. Can you like elaborate your question, Manit? That future in MongoDB, you want to know what is the future of MongoDB, or you want? I'm not understanding it. Yeah, I think you can please elaborate and put in the comment section in the Zoom chat, and my team will respond there. Okay. Now back to this one, many to many. Okay. Now many to many, here I'm seeing there are like three collections, three particular table. In MongoDB, we call it collections. So we have a three table, that is cinema, cinema hall, and source. So what we are doing, we are having a three separate collection in MongoDB, that is cinema hall, source, and movie. In one particular cinema hall, you can see that there is a cinema hall ID 5678, which is referencing to the show, that is cinema hall 567 ID, and this show have a ID 123. And after that, this have a particular movie ID. For example, let me elaborate it. For example, let us consider there is a one cinema hall in Gurugram named PVR Cinemas. Then PVR Cinema Hall will have a different show time. For example, there will be 5 shows within a day. also will have a ID, and every show will have a movie ID. For example, for at a particular moment of time, say from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., there is a 5 show running, and all 5 show have a different ID, because all show like have a different movies displaying at 5 location within a one cinema. So this is a relation of many to many. Like for example, many show are referencing to many movies within a one cinema hall. I think you are understanding. I see some comments. Let me read. Okay, not exactly, but I'm interested in NoSQL and wanna improve it. Okay. Yeah, definitely. You can if you want to improve the NoSQL, you can definitely refer to our MongoDB University, which we are going to talk in the later slide. But yeah, that's a great question, and we are going to answer these questions. Yep. So here, what I was trying to make you understand, that there will be a different source at a particular moment of a time zone, a timeline between like say from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. There will be multiple source running of different movies. So it will be a multiple source, like many source having a many movie running within a one cinema hall. So that will be a many to many relationship. So that in that scenario, we are like referencing the cinema hall ID with the cinema hall collection, and then with the movie ID with the movie collection. So in that way, we are like having a many to many relationship. Okay, got it. After that, there are some guidelines. So whatever we have discussed earlier, that when we have to use embedding, when we have to use referencing, so we have to understand that how the things, like whenever you embed the data, you don't want to put hundreds and thousands of data within a single array. So array should not grow without bound. So we have to put a bound within array, so we do not increase the overhead cost. We always favor embedding before minus compelling the reason. Like always try to embed the data within a one. Don't try to like reference until it's not required, because whenever you reference the data, you have to use join, and join later increase the read and write time. So third point is avoid joins and lookup if possible. If it's not possible, please use join. It's a very good it's a very good feature of MongoDB, and it's a replication of a join in SQL, and definitely increase that particular. Also consider read and write ratio, that whatever the data you are reading and write, you have to consider that. Also, it depends that how you consider specific, that like later in the comment section, I think someone have said that it really depends upon the use cases. I think it was Ishan. Yeah, Ishan said that it depends. Definitely it depends. So always consider that what exactly you are building. You are building a particular application, what kind of data you are storing, what kind of data you are retrieving. It really depends upon your use case. And in that way, you can design your schema, which will definitely build your application much faster. It will definitely help you. Now over to Asavari. Asavari will make you understand about some very awesome tools MongoDB have, which will definitely increase your developer productivity and will help you to make your application faster and in very less time. So yeah, over to Asavari. And I want to take some questions if you have. So Kusha, use example like 3 movies only. Yeah. So I can, if you people are having some issue, I can again take in one example. So let's understand one. I will make you understand once more. Okay, so what I was talking again, so consider there is a one cinema hall named PVR. PVR having a 3 movie or 5 movie, whatever. So for example, if it have a 5 movie, every movie have one show at a one moment of time, for example. So every movie have like one show at a one moment of time, but a single movie can have 5 show within a one day. So it will have one movie will have 5 show. Similarly, second movie will have 5 show. Third movie will have 5 show. In that way, it's a mini show, like it's mini movie having a relationship with many shows. So it's a many to many relationship. I hope it sounds clear. If not, please put up a comment. I will describe it more. So it's a many relationship that a lot. 5 shows have a 5 different like 5 movie have a 5 different shows as a one moment of time. So in that way we store a data by using a referencing, and we always prefer referencing over I'm stopping it. You can reshare it.
Thank you, Kushagra. I hope I hope this session has been useful to you, and I would just be there to answer your questions. So the main focus on what MongoDB does is to improve the developer productivity, and we basically focus on various tools and designs and products in order to make the developers more efficient with the databases and various other concepts. So I would be introducing you to 4 of them right now. Okay. So one of the product is Compass. The other is we have Atlas. We do have Mongo Shell, which is entirely where you can query the data and everything. And as per the recent survey, we have seen that most of the developers are switching to VS Code, and hence MongoDB has a plugin for them, for the people who are using MongoDB, for the people who are using VS Code in them. So I would introduce you to all of these one by one, and I would give a little hands-on to this one as well. So just stay with me, and if you have any questions, feel free to post in the channel again. So let's get started on Compass. So Compass is one of the product of MongoDB, where basically how do you start is you need to install Compass. I think in the chat section, you already have the link for installing. How do you install the Compass? And once you have the Compass installed in your system, it basically gives you a UI for all the data which is being stored in the database. So I have this. So I'll maybe I'll start from here. So this is the URI, and I'll show you how to get this URL connected and how do you start using Compass. So once you have the URI, you just need to click on connect. And once you are connected to the database, you can see what kind of collections and what kind of database is there in your system, so I have booking collection, I have a cinema collection. All this is stored in I have made this collection to make you understand how this would look like. So this is just a UI of how it would look like. We have aggregations in here. So what aggregation does is aggregation is basically helpful for you to, when you have the data stored in the database, aggregation basically helps you to extract useful data using some query languages. So for example, if I have this collection, say movie collection, and I want to see all the movies which are in English language, so I would just do a match. With the match, if I put in language, please make sure that it is, since it is case sensitive, so you put it in the right format. So once I have this, you'll see that it gives all the movies whose language is English, right? Now, what extra benefit it provides is, since you would be using some languages while you are developing your application, you already have the query written to you, and you just want how to write this query in a specific language. So MongoDB provides all these plugins in different languages, where, say, if you are doing it in Python, it would give you the entire code snippet of how to use the similar query with the Python. And then you can just copy this and put it in your application. So this is how efficient it proves when you're using Compass. There are various other things which you can do all around Compass. Go through the documentations and everything. If you have any questions, feel free to post it. Next, I would be taking up Atlas. So Atlas, again, I think the link would be there in the chat section. So Atlas also provides a very similar approach to what Compass provides, but it has more enhanced features and various other things. So Atlas is a huge product, and again, it provides various other things. You can do mobile applications, you can do data analytics, you can browse the collections, you can do aggregations and everything. So what you saw in Compass, and then this is a very similar thing which I would show you in Atlas. So basically, if you have a cluster created, so all the steps of how are you going to start with the cluster, all the steps would be mentioned in the documentation. So right now, if you're doing it for the first time, if you're using Atlas for the first time, we have different levels of cluster. We have M0, M2, M5. So every cluster has some upgraded version in it. So for the shared cluster, if you're using it for the first time, which is free, you can use it. You can use the M0 cluster, and it helps you to provide, like, it basically gives you freedom to create collections and browse and play around with the database. So this is, I think, very similar what you saw in Compass. Again, you have languages, you have the data, you have everything in the UI format here. Similar to what we had in Compass, the aggregations, you can use the aggregations, you can create a query using this aggregations, and then again export it to any specific language you want to. So this is very similar to what we saw before. So moving ahead, I would also show you the Mongo shell. So one thing I missed, maybe in the Atlas, if you go around in Atlas, I would. So if you see there's a connect option, you see there are 3 options given. If you want to connect it through the shell, the URI would be provided to you, and then you just need to put in the password, and then you're good to go. In order to connect it to your application, to any of the languages which you're trying to use, the URL will be provided to you. Similar is what we did in Compass. So this is how I got the URI to put it in Compass and then use it. So these are the 3 things which are provided through Atlas. You can get the URI and then just get started. So if you see, I have this, I'll just copy this URL and put it in. So this is basically a terminal. If you put it in the terminal with this, with the correct URL, correct password, you will be connected through the shell. So now if I do show DBs, these are basic commands which are used to work around in your shell. So this is, if you will get all the databases which are created. So if I go into one of it, which was created specifically for this workshop, I would show you the collections in it here as well. So if you see, these are the collections. So these are the basic commands. I think from the documentation, these commands are very helpful if you're at the very beginning stage of MongoDB to learn about how to play around with it. Compass also has a shell included in it. So if you go to Compass, there is also a Mongo shell connected, which when you are directly connected to the URL, it will open the shell for you. You do not need an external terminal for it, right? So this is the extra benefit which Compass provides. Along with this, we have Visual Code where you can make connections. So if you have ever used Visual Studio in your application to develop something, you might have come across with this icon where this plugin is already in there, where you can just click on this MongoDB and then you can create a new. You just need an entire a URI connection, URI to it, and then you're good to go. Since I've already connected to it, I can see all my databases in here. I can see all my collections in here. Right. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post it. Okay. So I think I am sure you might have found it interesting on some aspect on how are we trying to improve the developer productivity. So just another thing which I would like to add is I wanted to introduce you to the MongoDB community. So MongoDB community is basically a group of various MongoDB enthusiasts, various developers who are trying to learn MongoDB and trying to understand MongoDB in different ways. So it's basically a group of people trying to help each other, trying to build a space where you can put in your questions, where you can get solution to your answers. So what do we provide when we are presenting to this workshop? So you see a link down on my screen. So if you can scan this QR or if you go to this link, there would be a sign up page open for you, and that's the community page. So if you go to the sign up page, we would be very happy to give you swags. Now, if you're planning to use MongoDB in your project, if you sign up to the form which is mentioned in the URL there, and if you post a question, if you have any doubts through your entire hackathon, if you have any question through your entire hackathon, we are there. There would be MongoDB experts to help you out there with your questions, and you can also share your project ideas. What do you get out of all this? So you basically get a MongoDB swag out of it. Do you find it interesting? Yeah, so I think this would be something which would interest you more. So please log into this forum and get connected, and use MongoDB in your projects, use MongoDB in your application. Feel free to post questions, feel free to if you have any doubts, feel free to share your project ideas as well. So I think we had one of the participant who wanted to understand like the career path in MongoDB. So I understand as per the curriculum, you do not get introduced to MongoDB in a very depth way. So what MongoDB benefits here would be, we introduce you to the MongoDB University. So if you go to the link mentioned below, it would take you to the university page, and MongoDB provides a lot of, from a very basic level to the advanced level, a lot of courses which will train you to from a very beginner level to an advanced level in MongoDB. So what MongoDB provides is, what we have online courses which are free. So please feel free to enroll yourself. They are accessible globally. They have hands-on exercises, and from the very basic to the highest level of education, you will get to know about MongoDB in different ways. What else do you have? So we do have, so MongoDB provides with two different learning paths. One is the developer learning path. I think most of you would be interested in it. And we also have a DBA learning path. So all the courses which are mentioned over here would basically introduce you and take you to a new level when you are trying to use MongoDB in your applications, either if it's a developer learning path or a DBA learning path. Once you are done with all these courses, once you are good with MongoDB, once you know how to use MongoDB and how efficient you become in MongoDB, we provide certification as well. So why does this certification matters is basically to stand out in the crowd. If you are in a crowd of 100 people and you have a MongoDB certification, that would obviously and very efficiently help you in your career path. So this is where the certification matters. Once you have done all your courses, you can enroll yourself into the certification program. So right now, we have around 4,200 plus certified professionals all over the globe. We have two exams, as I said already. It's the developer exam and the DBA exam. If you have completed all the learning path, you are invited to give the examinations. We have approximately 196 plus countries across the globe who are taking the exams. And what does this provide is, you become a part of the community. You get to know you get to understand MongoDB. You get to learn a lot of things about MongoDB. Avail discount codes. So once you are connected, once you are done a path, for you have followed a path, say developer or a DBA path, we would love to give you discount codes. So right now, the MongoDB University, MongoDB provides the certification codes for around $150. But if you have completed the learning path and you reach out to us, say you need a discount code and you have completed the learning path, we would give 100% discount on the certification exams. So, and for any support related to certification exam, for any queries related to certification exam, feel free to reach out to certification@mongodb.com. So yeah. And if you have further going ahead in your life, any questions, anything related to MongoDB, if you want to learn MongoDB, feel free to reach out to the forums, feel free to get into the forums. You will see various developers, you will see various people going in there and putting up their questions, putting up their doubts. We have, apart from us, apart from our team, we have people as a part of community who are trying to help other developers as well. So that's where you would be benefited. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post it. Yeah, if you have any questions, please go ahead. we would love to take your questions.
Yeah, definitely. So I see some of the questions from Abhishek, Manit. So they are saying yes. So what exactly was the interesting part? The swag? What are the prerequisite for the learning MongoDB? So there's no prerequisite. You can just log into and you can get started with the course named M001, Ishan. So it will be like it's very from scratch. You don't need any like initial knowledge of MongoDB or a database. So it's from the scratch. So let's get started with the course name MongoDB Basics M001. M0 is like the standard version, M1, M2. Yeah, M1, M2 provides more spaces and more RAM on the cloud cluster. So you can have more RAM and more space to store your data.
So the certification exam, even if you do not have a background of MongoDB and you follow the entire learning path, the above mentioned learning path, be it a developer, be it a DBA, if you have completed the learning path, you are all welcome to give the certification exam and stand out in the crowd. And these course paths are from very basic level to the advanced level. So this will be benefited to you in all possible ways. Plus, it's free.
Also, like you guys are in colleges, so definitely I guess you definitely know about the MongoDB, know about the GitHub student pack. So MongoDB also have an offering within the good GitHub student pack, in which if you complete a learning path, as Asavari mentioned, you can get a free certification voucher, which worth is $150. But you have to just enroll yourself in the GitHub student pack, complete either one of the single learning path, and you will be eligible for the coupon code which have a worth of $150, and you can appear for the MongoDB certification examination. I think we can also share the link of MongoDB GitHub student pack from which you can enroll, or you can do a
Also, I would love to know if you guys find out the session to be interesting and you're planning to use it in your application, to use it in the hackathon application. So if that answer is yes, then please visit the Atlas links. Please visit the Compass links where you would be benefited in different ways. You, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, so I think Manit's saying that thanks for the wonderful session. Yeah, you're welcome, Manit. We are also equally thankful for the such an amazing crowd, but I want little more interaction with you guys. That it will be different. I just wanted to know what exactly you are building in your hackathon, which is organizing. I think it's from 13th, 12, 13, 14th August. So I just wanted to understand what exactly your people are building, and are you using MongoDB within your application or not? Like, are you planning to use MongoDB? And if yes, you can also um, you can also get the support from the MongoDB community forum, which we discussed earlier. There we are here there to support you with all your doubts related to MongoDB. If you're facing any issues, error, bugs within the MongoDB using, we are here to help you. I see no comments. I think I actually haven't participated. Yeah. Okay, you will be using MongoDB in future application. Definitely, it will be. You will definitely learn a lot, and feel free to ping about MongoDB application in our community forum. We will definitely, like, other folks will be also be interested, uh, like will get motivated to work, and will be also like other community people are there to help you in MongoDB whenever you feel like face any kind of issues while building. So we are always there. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Why not our team choose MongoDB? Yeah, right, Manit. Definitely. I'm seeing some of the enthusiastic MongoDB users right now. And yeah, like it's so simple. Like when you will research about MongoDB, like we have a lot of features that's in some scenario you don't even need to build your backend. So you can just use the MongoDB services, and you can just create a data API within the MongoDB Atlas, and you can use that particular API in your front end. So that is the power of MongoDB. So some like it, you can build your application without your backend. Yeah, I think there are not much questions.
Free to reach out in any way you can. Just
Yeah.
go to the forums and you can find us there. We would be very happy to help you out.
Of course. So all the links, I think you can find all the links on the forums also. We will paste all the required and all the important links in the forum post thread. So there you can also get all the links. And yeah, definitely we are looking forward to see what exactly you people built in the hackathon and how you utilize MongoDB in your application. Yeah. Thanks, Kusu. I think over to Kusu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, ma'am, for being here and for giving us such an amazing session. It was a really very wonderful learning experience for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So let's conclude the workshop. Thank you everyone for being a part of this workshop. We hope everyone enjoyed, and we really look forward for seeing you in the next event as well. We will be sharing a feedback form, so please fill in the feedback form too to tell us how much you felt about the workshop, or if you want us to improve any further. It will also include your personal details, such as, for example, your name, and we'll be using that name that you provide in the feedback form to create your certificate, to generate your certificate. So please make sure that you fill in the whole feedback form with your actual name. And please register in the hackathon if you're not done yet. Also join the Discord server because it's really mandatory to get the information about the further events, and stay connected with our social media to stay updated. So that's it. Let's end the workshop. Thank you everyone for attending. Have a good day. Bye.